Beitar Jerusalem fans hold up banners prior to the UEFA Europa League playoff football match between Beitar Jerusalem and his Saint-Etienne, at the Itztadion Teddy Stadium in Jerusalem on August 17, 2016. Saint-Etienne beat Beitar Jerusalem 2-1. Image credits, AHMAD GHARABLI, AFP, Getty Images. Israeli Premier League football club Beitar Jerusalem said it was renaming itself Beitar Trump Jerusalem, ahead of the controversial U.S. Embassy move to the disputed city. Palestinians readied for their own protests on Monday over the embassy's inauguration, including another mass demonstration in the Gaza Strip near the border with Israel. Beitar Trump Jerusalem. No, it's not a joke. Beitar Jerusalem, the Israeli right's favorite football team, long considered a bastion of anti-Arab racism, has decided to adopt Trump as its middle name and will henceforth be known as Beitar Trump Jerusalem. Speaks for itself. Chemishalep at Chemishalep, May 13, 2018. Jerusalem's primary soccer team, Beitar Jerusalem, has renamed the squad after President Donald Trump, the team announced on Facebook, Orenson reports. The team will now be called Beitar Trump Jerusalem for the president's courageous move. Jake Tapper at Jake Tapper, May 13, 2018. U.S. Embassy moving to Jerusalem. The march began a week of high tension between Israelis and Palestinians, highlighted by the embassy inauguration to be attended by a Washington delegation including U.S. President Donald Trump's daughter Ivanka and her husband Jared Kushner, both White House advisors. They arrived in Israel on Sunday. The embassy move will take place on the 70th anniversary of Israel's founding, while the following day Palestinians will mark the Nakba, or catastrophe, commemorating the more than 700,000 Palestinians who fled or were expelled in the 1948 war surrounding Israel's creation. Palestinian protests are also planned for Tuesday. For Israelis, Sunday was Jerusalem Day, an annual celebration of the reunification of the city following the 1967 Six-Day War. Israel occupied the West Bank and East Jerusalem in 1967 and later annexed East Jerusalem in a move never recognized by the international community. This year's celebration took on added significance due to the embassy move, and the march to the Western Wall include many hardline religious nationalists who oppose a Palestinian state. New World Order, dressed in white, held Israeli flags. Marchers filed through central Jerusalem toward the Old City with music blaring, including the song "Toy" by Israel's Netta Barzilai, who won the Eurovision Song Contest. Some had American flags, while banners celebrating U.S. President Donald Trump were hung by a pro-Israel evangelical Christian organization. Speaking to journalists in the Old City, Jerusalem Mayor Nir Barkat hailed the U.S. Embassy move as the beginning of a new world order. Capital of our people. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, bolstered in recent days by Trump's withdrawal from the Iran nuclear deal, opened a special cabinet meeting at Jerusalem's Bible Lands Museum by again lauding the embassy move. He later spoke at a reception welcoming the U.S. delegation. Jerusalem has been the capital of the Jewish people for the past 3,000 years. Netanyahu said, "It's been the capital of our state for the past 70 years. It will remain our capital for all time." U.S. Deputy Secretary of State John Sullivan, the head of the Washington delegation, called the embassy move a long overdue recognition of reality. Police and the Israeli military planned major security deployments. Security heightened ahead of the move. Around 1,000 police officers will be positioned around the U.S. Embassy and surrounding neighborhoods for Monday's inauguration, said spokesman Mickey Rosenfeld. Israel's army said it would almost double the number of troops surrounding the Gaza Strip and in the occupied West Bank. On Sunday, scuffles broke out between Israelis visiting the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in East Jerusalem's Old City, known to Jews as the Temple Mount, and Palestinian security officers. Jordan, the custodian of the site, sent a letter of protest to Israel condemning this as a provocation by extremists, a spokesman said. Jews are allowed to visit the site but not pray there to avoid provoking tensions, and police said a number of visitors were removed for not following the rules. It is not a provocation. It's our property, said Neely Naun, 42, an Israeli who arrived at the holy site with her family at 7 a.m. Weeks of tension. There were already tensions in the weeks before the embassy move. 54 Palestinians have been killed in protests and clashes since March 30 along the Gaza Strip's border with Israel. No Israelis have been wounded, and the military has faced criticism over the use of live fire. Israel says it only opens fire when necessary to stop infiltration, attacks and damage to the border fence, while accusing Hamas, the Islamist movement that runs the blockaded Gaza Strip, of seeking to use the protests as cover to carry out violence. On Sunday, Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh traveled to Cairo for talks amid speculation over whether Egypt is attempting to calm the situation. The embassy move has provoked Palestinian anger and led them to freeze ties with the White House. But on Sunday, top U.S. officials, including Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, said they could still push forward the troubled Israeli-Palestinian peace process. "We're hard at work on it," said Pompeo. Jerusalem's status is perhaps the thorniest issue in the conflict. Israel considers the entire city its capital, while the Palestinians see East Jerusalem as the capital of their future state.